The year was 1953. The Korean War had just ended. The first color television sets were introduced. I Love Lucy was the most popular television show, and the New York Yankees were the World Series champions. 2013 marks the 60th anniversary of the founding of the Three Rivers Telephone Cooperative in 1953. Let's take a look back at how we got here and the incredible amount of change that has taken place since then.
It all began when Three Rivers Telephone Cooperative, named for the Sun, Dearborn, and Teton Rivers, was incorporated by a group of forward-thinking individuals, including the original Board of Trustees: Merrill Plummer of Power, Ralph Parker, Fort Shaw, Reese Silva, Fairfield, Dale Stenseth of Brady, and Jim Mannix of Augusta. With an investment of $40,000, the cooperative was in business by 1954, when it purchased the Fairfield, Augusta, and Sims telephone exchanges from local owners, with less than 1,000 lines.
Anyone who wanted telephone service needed to join the cooperative and invest $50 to show a commitment to take service once construction was completed. It was a big decision for many at that time, but it was clear that only through serious cooperation would there be a phone system for residents in this part of rural Montana.
Rural Electrification Administration, or REA loans, were taken out by the co-op in the mid-1950s for buildings and equipment in Fairfield, Augusta, Sims, Fort Shaw, Power, Carter, East Conrad, Pendroy, Dupouillre, Stockett, San Coulee, Rainsford, and Geyser. By the time JFK was elected president in 1960, Three Rivers had 10 employees and more than 2,200 subscribers. By the end of 1963, when Kennedy was assassinated, the co-op had 17 employees.
The 60s and 70s were major construction and upgrade years as rural telephone service continued to improve. Users on the farm went from 8-party to 4-party and finally to single-party phone service by the end of the 70s.
Along the way, Mother Nature provided many challenges. A tremendous ice storm in April 1964 took down miles of poles and lines in the Geyser and Rainsford areas. Hard on the heels of this storm, the Sun River flooded, one of the worst natural disasters in Montana history. In June of 1975, there was yet another flood on the Sun River, again causing major damage. Stormproofing of lines and the addition of microwave facilities were undertaken to minimize future losses.
The summer of 1969 marked a momentous occasion. No, not man landing on the moon. An upgrade in June allowed callers in Fairfield to directly dial long-distance calls anywhere in the country without operator assistance. And in 1978, Three Rivers made telephone history by installing the first digital telephone switch west of the Mississippi, in Stockett. Governor Tom Judge was on hand for ceremonies celebrating this achievement.
The co-op undertook a major growth spurt in the 1980s and 90s as Ma Bell was broken up, and Mountain Bell and USWEST sold their rural exchanges. The Big Sky, Browning, Ennis, and Harrison exchanges were purchased in 1980 and were upgraded to one-party service by 1982. The days of party line gossip were at an end. It's hard to imagine. It was the 1980s. Time magazine had named the computer as Man of the Year, and there were still people in rural Montana on party line service. In 1994, Three Rivers purchased 11 more exchanges while introducing voicemail and expanding its business into wireless, satellite TV, and fiber optics services.
Three Rivers began selling DirecTV in 1995. This was a huge success for Three Rivers, both financially and by allowing the cooperative to greatly expand its workforce. Three Rivers would go on to serve nearly 18,000 DirecTV customers. And if that wasn't enough change for 1 year, 1995 also saw another major milestone when Three Rivers launched Internet service, bringing the information, education, and entertainment of the World Wide Web to its members.
Technology advances continued in the world and at the cooperative. In 1997, Three Rivers entered the cellular phone business through its wireless subsidiary, and the next year launched its own long-distance service. In 2000, a new 2-story administration building was constructed in Fairfield near the existing headquarters building.
As the new millennium approached, Three Rivers entered the world of competitive telephony, building its own networks in Conrad and Shelby to compete with USWEST by providing telephone and internet service. Within a few years, Three Rivers gained more than 60% of the landline phones in both towns.
By 2004, Three Rivers had over 240 employees and served more than 20,000 landline telephone customers, plus thousands more served by Three Rivers Wireless. Over 8,000 people had Three Rivers Internet, including dial-up and high-speed service. In 2005, the co-op launched Wild Blue High-Speed Satellite Internet through a partnership with NRTC. This was made available to folks who were out of reach of high-speed landline service.
In 2006, the fun really started when Three Rivers began an aggressive plan to install fiber to the premises in many of the exchanges as possible over the coming decade. Three Rivers had long been using fiber optics in its network backbone, but now began to push it all the way to the members' homes and businesses, greatly increasing the services that could be provided. Fairfield, Twin Bridges, Sheridan, and Innis were the first fiber-to-the-premise projects undertaken beginning in 2008, with 5 other exchanges completed by 2012. Three Rivers entered the cable television business in 2009 by purchasing systems in Shelby, Conrad, Choteau, and Fairfield, and could now provide its customers with triple play, phone, internet, and TV over one connection with one bill.
Shortly thereafter, Three Rivers began offering its own television service, 3RTV, in 2010 in Fairfield. 3RTV was made available in 9 more exchanges by the end of 2012, including a community channel with sports and other programming produced by Fairfield schools. Other schools and communities are now developing the same capabilities.
60 years after its founding, Three Rivers today has more than 170 employees, over 18,000 phone lines, 9,000 high-speed internet customers, and 1,500 TV customers, plus a whole lot of gratitude for our cooperative members, old and new, who have supported our mission and growth throughout the past 60 years.